Hey everybody, today on Locals Only, I got a great opportunity to meet with the owner and operator of Sierra Adventure Vehicles, Mike Ricker, for his shop in Truckee, California. Let's get into it.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Mike Ricker with Sierra Adventure Vehicles.
Awesome. Mike, how long have you been here for?
We've been here coming up on 3 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, and you've been converting Sprinter vans and anything else?
Yeah, so we started doing Sprinter vans in 2020. In 2022, a customer came to us and said, hey, I'm building a Jeep. I've got some questions about where I should go and what I should do. And we just decided to sort of change our model a little and help him with the build. And that's grown into nearly half our business now is something other than vans.
Awesome. How'd you get into converting Sprinter vans?
In the height of the pandemic, my family and I had a tough time traveling. Couldn't fly, couldn't stay in hotels. So we bought a van and then quickly realized that it wasn't exactly what we needed. It needed to be modified. So we were looking for a space to do that. And the shop here was a CrossFit gym that couldn't be open at the time. So we took over their lease, and I spent the first few months on our own van, getting it to a point where we could use it the way we wanted to use it for travel. And that just sort of grew into sort of one van at a time, servicing other folks so that their vans service their needs, and has grown to sort of where we are today.
Awesome. And where is this shop located?
Truckee, California, Pioneer Trail, right across from Full Belly Deli. We're about 20 minutes from Lake Tahoe, an hour from Reno, 2 hours from Sac.
Awesome. Why don't you show us the shop here?
Sure. So this is kind of the new half of the shop, and we'll start over at the original part of the shop and kind of work our way back. Yep. So when we first started the shop, we were just in this one space with one roll-up door and building vans on the floor one at a time. And we started with some quick hits, 2 or 3 day upgrades, maybe storage, maybe a ladder, maybe a roof rack. Then we started doing suspensions, which is a passion of our shop. It's hard to do a suspension upgrade in your driveway. So you really want to be at a shop. We did the first few on the ground, making use of Van Compass or Agile kits. Then we invested in this first lift and started doing 1 or 2 suspension upgrades a week. Back then, we were outsourcing wheels and tires and alignments. We sort of outgrew that model as our local friends here and business partners couldn't handle us sending so many vehicles to them or asking for so many tires to be mounted. That led to a point where we invested in tire mounting and balancing equipment, like you see back here, for vans and ultimately for trucks and Jeeps and other off-road vehicles. So this is a Road Forks balancer. I think it's the only one in Truckee. And so if you're running a 37-inch tire on a truck like this, you want to make sure your tires are balanced properly. Whenever you do a suspension upgrade, you need to do an alignment. So we were outsourcing to our friends at Avant and other places for alignments, but they just couldn't handle the volume we got to. So we invested in this 4-post lift and bed pack, a Hunter alignment machine, and now we probably align 2 vehicles a day here.
Keeping you busy. What's the largest tire you're able to set up?
40. They're 40 or 42 probably. 37 is very common for us, sort of the full-size go-to tire size. As our model has sort of evolved, we've grown our customer base, so where this might be the standard van you see coming in and out of our shop, and they're still here every day, you'll see more vehicles like this FJ Cruiser. This is a 72 FJ40. That's a 72 FJ40 over there. We'll take a peek at it when we get closer. And then a lot of our folks who aren't van guys run a camper setup. So this truck has a Thurin lift kit with King shocks, onboard air. This is a Super Tramp camper. And there's a ton of things you can do to this. It has a 60-gallon fuel tank. Obviously, this hitch-mounted spare tire carrier. So this is a sort of a standard build for us, or series of upgrades for us that we'd like to do. We'll take a look at this 72 FJ40 for a moment, just because it's so rare. This is actually a Toyota diesel, straight 6 Toyota diesel 1HZ with a turbo upgrade kit. So when this cruiser came to us, it didn't have brakes, didn't have a steering column at all. It had mismatched wheels and tires on it, and the motor hadn't ever started. So we spent the last month and a half getting the motor running, rebuilding the brake system, building a factory steering column with a power steering upgrade from scratch. Jake built this custom seat bracket, which will house modern seats here in the future, and then a 28-gallon long-range tank. So this cruiser has obviously a ways to go, but it'll go to paint and then come back for us to finish it.
That's sweet setup.
Because so many of our local customers like to spend their winter on sleds, we do stock sled decks in the shop. And this is a truck body that we did for a repeat customer of ours, that we ordered actually and had shipped from Pennsylvania.
Nice. So it just continues expanding, right?
Right.
You see the need, you're filling it.
This little corner of the shop is set up for long-range builds, or long-term builds, I should say. So we work with Adventure Wagon and sell their kit, which allows us to provide wall panels, ceiling panels. We use a smart floor system, so that's an epoxy-down aluminum flooring system that allows us to install these tracks, and you could set seats or other components in those tracks.
Talk about the grooves that run lengthwise, right?
Yeah, so that's an L-track integral to a epoxy-down aluminum flooring system.
Nice.
So we started in the original shop in 2020. In 2022, our neighbor, which was a furniture store, relocated. So we took over this space. Now we're about 8,000 square foot of shop space. One of the things that was nice about that sort of takeover of her space was we got this great customer lounge off the bat. We kind of use this lounge for 2 reasons. Folks come and spend the day here as we upgrade their vehicle. They can hang out, they can do work, they can watch TV, they can do whatever they like. There's local coffee shops and pastry shops and things like that to sort of go to while they're here. Then every other month we'll teach a class in this room. So last time we taught a winching and recovery class. Tomorrow we teach a tire and wheel class. So a lot of our folks, it's maybe it's their first vehicle off road. So we want to teach them how to air down, how to change a flat tire, how to air back up, how to select tires for their particular vehicle. So we'll do that tomorrow. Sweet,
awesome.
We had a friend of the shop actually build this wall for us, so that when folks come in, they can they have a point of sale to interact with our sales team. They can be checked out here, and then our products sort of they change over time. But here you can see some ski lockers and a storage box, a bike rack, and then what this little display here does is it shows you the difference between the stock Sprinter suspension and an upgraded suspension. So one of the most popular upgrades we do is when you buy a brand new Sprinter, it comes with this 2-leaf pack, which is really overrated or overloaded the day you buy it.
Especially that doesn't look like much for a big old van.
An 8,800 pound van. So our most common upgrade is this Agile off-road leaf pack. So it's a 7 or 8 leaf pack, depending on the weight of your van. This one's set up for 4,700 pound rear axle weight, which is what I run. And then these sort of rinky-dink Mercedes shocks that come with it are upgraded to a 2-inch or 2.5-inch Fox shock, depending on the vehicle. This is also available with a remote reservoir, which allows for more oil to travel through the shock, stay cooler.
Don't overwork them on the long drives.
That's right. You'll get, when you pick up your Sprinter van, it'll come with a Mercedes strut. It looks like this, without this coil, without these collars. And so it's really undersprung from the day you buy it. So what we like to do is add this Agile Off-Road collar, this Hyperco spring with a top plate to increase the spring rate of the front of the van to match the build out that you've done. And then we add a secondary Fox shock. So this 2-inch shock rides along with this now sort of coil over strut system. And then depending on the setup, to run a 275 with tire, we'll either do this aluminum wheel spacer, or we'll do a new brake kit, and the brake rotor itself moves the wheel out so it's properly spaced.
Sweet. So what would you say is your favorite thing about having this shop?
I think really the stoke we see on the customers when they come in, and it's an expensive upgrade usually to do. So they're apprehensive about, is the payoff really going to be worth the expense? And especially with the suspension products, it's night and day difference. So we get a ton of great feedback as soon as people leave. Sometimes they call us from the first roundabout and say, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe the change in my van. It went from undrivable to drivable, in a matter of a mile."
Yeah, that's like the one thing I noticed about driving my Sprinter van is just it can be very tiring.
Yeah.
If you don't have the right setup on it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing really long drives, you're almost kind of wrestling the car after a while.
Yeah. So there's sort of three things that make the Sprinter driving fatigue, or make you feel fatigued by driving the Sprinter van. The suspension's overloaded, and so that's addressed with this kit or a Van Compass kit. It doesn't stop, so we like to do a big brake kit, which puts a big rotor and an Alcon caliper on the van and stops like it should. It stops like a car. And then, believe it or not, the stereo. So if you're going to drive 12 hours in a day,
Stereos are so bad.
you're going to drive 12 hours in a day, the stereo is awful. And the van's loud. No matter kind of what you do to that van, it's going to be loud. It's it's tall and heavy, and you're sitting over the motor in the running gear. So we do a beatbox. It's called Stereo Upgrade by Rombrig. And for me, it brings the fatigue way down because you can really enjoy the music, enjoy your time. Or if you like to listen to podcasts, you can actually hear what they're saying instead of trying to back it up all the time. So we love that upgrade as well.
Awesome. So if I have a brand new Sprinter van, or I've had one for a long time, or any sort of overlanding vehicle, and I just want to bite the bullet, pull the trigger, and get some work done, what's the easiest way to get in touch with you guys?
So we run 2 Instagram feeds. We run Sierra Adventure Vans and Sierra Adventure Vehicles. You can hit us up on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. You can call the shop here, 530-562-6009, or come by 10800 Pioneer Trail in Truckee.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing us your shop. Really appreciate it. Look forward to getting my Jeep in here once I get it.
Thanks.
Hey everybody, thank you again for watching another episode of Locals Only here on Trail House. If you are a manufacturer, retailer, or a small business owner in the food and beverage industry and interested in getting your brand or business represented on this channel, you can reach me directly at seank.trailhouse@gmail.com.